What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome to the pre-market prep session for May 24th, 2023. This being our daily session where we go over any and all information necessary, news, analysis, notes, mindset to keeping you consistently profitable here across these crazy markets. I'm your host, Adam Holland, stock options expert market strategist. And we're here to do what today? Get 1% better, right? Here with the same goal each and every day. So I'm excited to have you all on here. Yes, good morning, Vivian, Andrea, Carla, my man Tage, Benjamin, good morning. Detrice, good morning. Greetings. Paul, good morning. Hope everybody had a nice night's sleep, had a great morning routine. I had a pretty good morning myself, a solid morning. Slept in a little bit, finally starting to feel a little bit better. If y'all can't hear it in my voice, right? Throw a 3 in the chat for health. Definitely starting to feel a bit better. Got some medication that's doing me right. My voice starting to get back to normal, which is amazing. I'm not having to endlessly chain eat halls, which is good. I'll probably still continue to eat them today, just in case, anything. I still feel a little bit raspy, something like that, but definitely feeling a lot better, which is great. And good to be on the recovering side, even without recovering, right? Even with the raspy voice, even with the sore throat, still kicking the market's butt, right? Absolutely roasted Bank of America yesterday for over 100% profit, right? We got SPY nailed the double top on SPY for SPY puts. So that's the beautiful thing, is that even when you're kind of run down, you're down bad, if you come into the market with the right mindset, right, in the right headspace, you're ready to execute, you're ready to move, and you're ready to move like a killer, right? Regardless of whether or not you're feeling fully healthy or you're feeling, a little bit down, right? If you can make sure that you're in the right headspace coming into the market day, you can execute and you can make a good amount of money, right? And you'll be done for the day. That was me yesterday. Came to the market, made my money, peace, right? You got to treat the market like a casino, not in that you're always gambling, right? But in the fact in which you get your money and you leave. I don't know if you guys, are big casino goers here or anything like that. But if you are, you know that the longer you stay in the casino, the more chance you have to give that money back. You don't want to be hanging out in the casino nonstop because you're not likely going to leave with a lot of money, right? So you want to make your money, leave. We nailed BAC for beautiful call play, and then talked about, let me see here, do we still have, okay, so I'm not seeing the volume like come up here, but I feel like you guys must be hearing me because I'm seeing like Andrea put a 3 in the chat, Tage put a 3 in the chat. Normally it shows me my like volume meter. I'm not seeing that, but as long as you guys can still hear me, everything is good. But yeah, you guys know if you've been to a casino, the longer you stay there, right, the more chance you have to lose your money. Yeah, Vivian, we can hear you. Okay, awesome. The more chance you have to lose your money. So you got to get your money and get out. And that was exactly the game plan yesterday. Worked very, very effectively. In terms of news that we have going on this morning, let's go ahead and dive in so that I have plenty of time to go through and drop that pre-market analysis. Okay, awesome. Everybody can hear me. Great, great, great. So I can go through and drop that pre-market analysis and everybody can be prepped and ready for the opening bell. So in terms of our top news here, what else are we talking about other than artificial intelligence? So we got national AI strategy. As generative AI systems take industries by storm, calls have been growing on the need to regulate emerging tools and address the potential downsides of the technology. Just last week, the CEO of OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, testified to Congress about the necessity of government intervention for mitigating the risks of increasingly powerful artificial intelligence models. While lawmakers didn't arrive at any specific proposals at the first AI hearing on Capitol Hill, several ideas were brought up and more are now on the horizon. Snapshot: in response to, quote, one of the most powerful technologies of our time, the Biden administration is taking new steps to, quote, advance responsible artificial intelligence. The first is updating its roadmap called the National AI R&D Strategic Plan, which outlines key priorities and goals for federal investments in AI research and development. It also released a new request for public input on critical AI issues like protecting individuals' rights and safety and harnessing AI to improve lives. A new report on AI trends in education is being addressed as well, which will cover the risks and opportunities related to teaching, learning, research, and assessment. Social media went through similar scrutiny during its growth stages in 2010 or in the 2010s. Under the microscope were addictive behavior and disorders stemming from social comparison, and later data privacy and misinformation, which, to be honest, we all know to be, direct impacts of social media. right? We have addictive behavior and disorders that stem from comparison, social comparison of one person to the next. People are still, struggling with that, and data privacy and misinformation. So people still struggle with that. So to be honest, it's just like any emerging technology that comes along. There are positives and there are negatives. With social media, you can learn faster than ever before. You can come across resources faster than ever before. You can also, become more depressed than ever before, develop disorders and addictive behaviors because of the social stigma and anxiety that you develop as a result of you not being where everyone else is on your feed or something like that, right? So it goes to show that these technologies can change the world, right? And they can change the world without their negatives or their downsides ever fully being addressed, right? The issue of data and misinformation is still prevalent on social media, right? We literally have an AI photo that was fake that circulated and caused the market to drop intraday, right? So we never really sorted out those issues, and it kind of doesn't really bode the best for AI moving forward, because if we couldn't sort out the issues with social media, which is nowhere near as smart as AI, will we actually ever sort out and correctly regulate what's going to happen with AI? Probably not. So social media, let me see here. The difference this time around is the AI companies are generally calling for increased regulation as they disrupt current models compared to the once famous motto of move fast and break things of Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. That is true. That is a stark difference. I feel like now the creators of this technology are recognizing the long-term implications, and they're like, guys, we need regulation now, because everybody now is caught in this AI race, and people always say, act first and ask forgiveness later. But that this could literally signal the end of the human race, right? If you want to mess around and continue acting first and asking for forgiveness later, right? If you come up with some out of control AI, but we got just Terminator, iRobot all over again, right? Type setup. So really got to be careful with this. So I think it is important that all the big players in the space are calling for regulation. I think that's smart and that's significant. Um, let's see. Where did I leave off at? So the government today also seems to be keenly aware of moving too slowly on the tech front, with U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy even releasing an advisory that covers the dangers of social media on child and adolescent brain development. Seeking out a commentary, quote, hype over AI investing has quickly caused a bubble to form in AI stocks, right? Seeking Alpha analyst Logan Kane in artificial intelligence investing hype needs a reality check. So that's just an article that they wrote. Quote, history shows dozens of similar examples, with each new technological innovation citing lessons learned from the dot-com bubble in similar patterns that have recently played out in cannabis stocks, sports betting, and blockchain. He also compares tech innovations that lead to increased growth and corporate profits versus trends that weigh on labor productivity and margin. So not really anything to glean from that in terms of like actually placing trades, or what that means in terms of kind of like market moves to be made. It's just the fact in which there's been heavy call on regulation. It's happening from both sides, so we will likely see regulation. Also, people calling AI a bubble now. Is it a bubble? Who knows? People have been calling crypto a bubble forever, and it's still up very significantly. That's not me being a crypto maxi, that's just me stating the facts. It's back down significantly, but still up from where it was when everybody said that it was a scheme. So people are always going to have their opinions. Is there a lot of speculative hype around AI? Yes. Like there is absolutely no cutting corners, no cutting cards. There is a ton of speculative hype. AI is a big buzzword, keyword. Everybody's feeding off of it. Everybody's taking advantage of it. So it's one of those things where I think everybody is looking forward to regulation on it, and we can all see how we can integrate this into our world to make everybody more productive. In terms of media news here, pay up. Password sharing days are over if you have a US Netflix account. A crackdown that started in Latin America, Europe, and elsewhere has finally arrived in the streamer's home market as it looks to combat slower growth with additional revenue streams. A Netflix account is for use by one household, the company wrote in a blog post. Everyone living in that household can use Netflix wherever they are, at home, on the go, on holiday, and take advantage of new features like transfer profile and manage access and devices. The new model will allow users to buy extra memberships at a lower rate, and many may start seeing the prompts the next time they log in. right? As somebody who is 1000% still on my family's Netflix, that is annoying. I don't know if I'll get a prompt or what. We have multiple profiles. Everybody's got their own profile. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, like I'm fine. If I want to watch Netflix, I'm gonna pay for Netflix. That's how it goes. But it's just one of those things where, oh, it's finally making its way around here. So for you guys, right? It's not a glitch. It's not an issue. They saw what it did in other countries, and they were like, "Yep, we are bringing this to the masses. We're bringing this to the U.S." So for some of us on here, that might add for an extra expense, but all that does is further underscore the necessity to make sure your money is working hard for you, right? Your money's always got to be working hard. It's got to be working smart. Our money yesterday was working notoriously hard and notoriously smart, right? Bringing home over 100% in less than a day. No other investment does that for you, right? Nothing else does that for you. We can bring them over 100% in less than a few hours, right? Stock options do that for you. So they give you options where even if you just have one day to trade, right? A few days to trade, a minute to trade, a few hours to trade, there is something for you. So mastering this skill is absolutely necessary because one income stream is too close to none. One is literally one letter away from none, right? So you always need to be having multiple income streams because, again, we never know what new technological innovation is going to dry one up completely. But yeah, in terms of Netflix, right, we got that coming to the US. I think that's bullish for Netflix overall. Is that something that ends up affecting them right now? Probably not. Over the course of maybe the next earnings report, yeah, it could, right? It could influence them over the course of their next earnings report. But for right now, that doesn't really seem like anything that would cause movement in Netflix. But of course, make sure that you're paying attention to the charts, right? Recognizing um, kind of what's going on, right? Recognizing what's going on, where the opportunity is. And if you can't do that, make sure you're signed up at chartwithconfidence.com. It's as simple as that. Get the confidence in order to execute. Me calling things out is not going to help you if you do not have the confidence to execute. If you can't chart yourself, see the patterns, right? Understand how to recreate my charts, understand how you need to be managing positions. It is not going to help you to know what to get in, right? You're going to be hesitant, you're going to be scared, you're going to take a little bit too long, you're not going to know how to execute, right? And then what happens? You miss the trade, right? So there is no, we're in 2023, which is the year of execution. There is no more wait to see if something spontaneously gets better. This is the year where you act in order to make sure that you get better, right? We're not leaving it up to chance. AI is not leaving it up to chance. Every single interaction AI has, it is getting better. You want to move to eliminate all empty actions from your life. Every action that I take, I am taking inventory of that action and I am getting better. Every action that I take has intent behind it. I'm not just sitting here saying, oh man, I missed this trade. Well, hopefully I'll get the next one. Or, oh man, I messed up this trade. Hopefully I don't mess up the next one. No, it's okay. This happened. How can I ensure it never happens again? Cool. I'm going to take that, right? What do I have to do? Pay for this? Cool. What do I have to do? Spend an hour doing this? Cool. What do I need to do? Go back over this? Awesome. Right. But we're in a time now where empty interactions cost so much more than what they used to cost. Again, with AI, with tech, with all this stuff happening, you having more and more empty interactions is interactions that AI is having that are meaningful, right? That are meaningful. At this point, it is not just, okay, if I'm lazy, it only affects me. If you're lazy, it could have drastic knock on effects down the road. And I'm not talking a year from now, I'm talking literally a week from now, a month from now. Because again, I'm plugged in with this AI stuff. Every single week, there's something else that it's been adapted to do. There's something else every single week. And I'm just looking at it like, man, I don't know what people are going to do, right? You have to know how to use this tech and you have to know multiple ways to get money. You have to be constantly getting better. And that's just natural selection, right? That is literally life. Life was not created to be stagnant, right? Life was created to go on, to evolve, right? To change. You have to change along with it. If you don't, right, then you're kind of dishonoring the purpose for you being alive, because the purpose for you being alive is to flow, to move, to change, right? So we need to always be looking to execute, always be looking to change and stay ahead of the curve, right? Throw a 7 in the chat if you're on that same wave this year, because that's the wave that I'm on, right? And it's done me darn good this year. And I want to continue to do good, not just for me, but for everybody else. But just the year of execution, man, the year of execution, we're leaving stagnancy behind. We are no longer going to be stagnant and sitting in the same place, hoping for something to come about and help us, right? Got to be our own heroes here. In terms of energy news, Saudi warning starting off the month at around $65 a barrel. WTI crude prices have bounced in May by nearly $10 per barrel. The latest announcement from Saudi Arabia's top energy official may add to the rally after he told short sellers to watch out. What a blatant, response. Quote, speculators, like in any market, they are there to stay. I keep advising them that they will be ouching. They did ouch in April. Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman declared at an economic forum in Doha, referring to the surprise production cuts posted in April. However, that rally was short-lived, and some are voicing renewed skepticism before OPEC Plus meets in Vienna on June 4th to discuss production policy for the second half of 2023. So, Saudi pretty much coming out, right? Saudi Arabia coming out and saying, hey, if you're short oil, you're going to get hit in the face. So we'll see. They have the ability to do that, right? The ability to come out and single-handedly raise oil prices if they want to, right? They can cut production, do whatever else they need to, in order to make sure that their margins stay where they want them to stay. In terms of like oil stocks and just kind of checking out now, energy stocks are definitely taking a beating, right? But that does provide great opportunity. So checking out the charts, that might be something that we keep on the radar, right? We'll keep that in the back of our minds as we look through, some of the favorites, of course, being Marathon, right? MRO, ExxonMobil, XOM. And then what is the one that, Occidental Petroleum, right? Oxy, that's another favorite, right? What Warren Buffett is so heavily invested in. So yeah, something to keep an eye on, right? As we head into the summer months, right? Things are getting hotter, people are outside. A lot of times they like to cut back production on oil to make sure that the price stays high and stays healthy and that their margins stay healthy. So it looks like we put in like a couple of not so cute candles on the daily on a lot of these energy tickers, but also seeing a lot of hourly potential bull flags on these oil tickers. So that will be something that we keep account of today, right? Oxy hourly bull flag with breakout is 60.31. So you can say here, set an alert for that now. Same thing for these other hourly tickers, right? Or same thing with these other energy tickers. So if we go back and we check out, ExxonMobil, XOM, same thing. Hourly bull flag on XOM, the low at 104.74, high at 108.22. Go through, set your alert. So now, boom, you get an alert as soon as you're testing, right? Testing hourly bull flag breakout. Boom. And again, we put in some, daily shooting stars across some of these tickers. So we might not necessarily get that push today, but we could, right? So something to keep an eye on here, energy tickers on the docket. In terms of broader stock news, just in case, as the debt ceiling continues to take attention, the market still has to contend with whether the Fed can engineer a prized soft economic landing or if a recession is on its way. Goldman Sachs is more bullish on the economy, with economists estimating just a 35% chance of recession compared with an average 60% from other major banks. However, if a hard landing does materialize, Goldman's equity team has picked its favorite stocks to put cash to work. Those stocks have some combination of low valuation, a strong balance sheet, and a solid dividend history. Among the picks are Microsoft, J&J, Coca-Cola, and Hormel. And of course, they have you available to see the full list here. Excuse me. As I talked about previously, it's really about paying attention to larger time frames, right? So, as I mentioned the monthly on SPY, the monthly on QQQ. You want to, make sure that you are paying attention to those larger time frame charts, those higher time frame charts, because they're just so important, right? They're so important. They're the ones that tell the picture. They're the ones that paint the picture, right? They tell the story. They paint the picture. You go out to the monthly right now, which I'm currently looking at, and you extend that time frame monthly 10-year chart. What do you see? A big old monthly bear flag. Just a huge monthly bear flag, and we have not broken that line in the sand. That line in the sand is 429.60. We don't get above 429.60, right? We still run the risk of this same ugly, crusty action and then eventually falling back lower, right? That's kind of why we've been having this action on the weekly where it's like, oh, we get above, breakout area on the weekly and then we fall back beneath, right? Last time we broke out above weekly high back on end of January, we fell right back down beneath, right? We did not hold over it. Same thing kind of last week. We closed above weekly high. So far this week, we can close over it, but so far this week, we're closing back underneath it, right? When you start to see something on that time frame behaving like, okay, why is it behaving like this? We broke above, we should hold above. You need to zoom out, right? If you see weird movement on the time frame you're looking at, zoom out. That's always the key. Zoom out. I don't care if you're on the daily, zoom out to the weekly. If you're on the weekly, zoom out to the monthly, right? But you're seeing that movement for a reason. So if you're seeing weird movement on the weekly, zoom out to the monthly, and that will give you a lot of context, right? And you might say, oh, that's why we're moving weirdly. This is actually just consolidation as part of a pop on what can be a large monthly bear flag. So SPY can continue to push, right? But that 420, 421 area is an important area. Right after that, 430. If we get above 430, awesome, right? We get above 430, things are looking beautiful. You really can say at that point, okay, cool, we're really out of the woods here. But as of right now, this weird like movement that we've been seeing on the weekly where we break the weekly high and then we come back beneath and we retrace like 40% of the move. Then we come back up. We barely set a new high after struggling for a month. And then we come right back down, right? That is not what you normally see after breaking a previous high, right? So that's when you got to say, okay, I need to zoom out, see what's going on. And that's exactly, what's happening here with SPY and with the broader market. Excuse me. So in terms of today's markets, we're looking overwhelmingly red across the board. And we're even lower than when this information came out. In Asia, we're down in Japan, 0.9%, Hong Kong down 1.8%, China down 1.3%, India down 0.3%, the FTSE in London down 1.8%, Paris down 1.8%, Frankfurt down 1.7%, the Dow is down 0.4%, down more even now, S&P down 0.4%, down more even now. Same thing with the NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ down even more now. It was down 0.3%. Crude oil up 1.6%. The only bright spot here, gold up 0.2%. Bitcoin down 2.3% to 26,722. Now, today we do have FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. So make sure that you have that reminder set. I will be on the road today, right? I will be on the road today. I have an appointment today. I'm probably going to be on the road from 12, probably 12, and then try and get back to my computer by 3, right? 2:30, 3. If you know you're not somebody that can trade without ready access to me, do not trade, right? We have FOMC minutes today at 2 p.m. You just have to make that decision for yourself, right? Make that business decision. You could say, hey, whenever Adam's on the road, the markets want to act up, right? That's been a weird kind of ongoing motif. Whenever I'm on the road, markets want to act up. Just chill out for today, right? We had a bomb day on BAC. We had winners the day before. So it's just, it's no real sweat. But at the end of the day, if you're like, hey, I need guidance, I can't get that guidance, it's a very simple, cut and dry answer, right? You don't have to rack your brain. You just say, hey, I'm not going to be making moves today, right? But I will be on the road today, probably by noon. So, this is a day where if you're like, hey, I need to ask a lot of questions or I need, kind of hand holding step by step, it ain't for you, right? And if you do indulge in things, recognize, set an alert, right? FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. That's going to happen. Make sure you have a reminder set on your phone. There is not a meeting, right? Powell is not speaking. These are the notes released from the previous meeting, right? These are the notes released from the previous meeting. So make sure, that you are aware of that. Don't, anticipate Powell coming on because he's not coming on. But those are kind of the main important notes of the day. What else do we have in terms of today's economic calendar? We've got Waller speaking at 12:10 p.m. So Waller, a member of the Fed, that could cause some volatility. Then we just have some random little pieces of data, but nothing super big. Definitely the FOMC minutes is going to be the biggest thing. Will that have a huge effect? I don't know. It's not like they're making a decision. This is just further context into what caused them to make the last decision and also maybe about what they plan to do moving forward. So just be ready for that, right? Make sure you got that locked and loaded on the calendar. In terms of what else is happening, former rivals Uber and Waymo partner on robo-taxi. So Waymo was Google's robo-taxi company. So they are partnering together on robo-taxis, it looks like. And then earnings, Lowe's management offers optimistic commentary. Apple inks Broadcom deal for U.S.-made components. That's probably really good for Broadcom. Their ticker is AVGO, AVGO. So that might, do something for Broadcom here. I'm not seeing anything pre-market in terms of moves for them. That might have happened yesterday because I do see a huge upper wick yesterday where it looks like Avgo probably. Oh, that was pre-market yesterday. Yeah, so depending on when this news broke, that might have been old news, right? That's just getting reported. So you can see how Avgo moves, but it looks like a big spike yesterday pre-market, so that might have been that news, and it just came out after they had already sent out the newsletter. It looks like Meta sells Giphy or Jiffy. I forget how it's pronounced. I think it's Giphy. Giphy to Shutterstock, uh, whose ticker is SSTK at a 20. Oh, wow. I thought that was 26, $262 million loss. Sheesh. Wow. I thought it was 26.2. Nope. Smooth $300 million loss on Giphy. That sucks. But hey, I guess it's news, right? So Meta selling Giphy at a $262 million loss to Shutterstock. DeSantis to launch presidential run during an event with Elon Musk. Organized retail crime is definitely a thing. BJ's earnings call. And it definitely is a thing, but also a part of me like just recognizes that over the course of years of watching this and observing companies' earnings reports and things like that, I feel like they settle on something that they can all use as an excuse across the board in their earnings report. Like, are people stealing? Yes. I don't work on BJ, so maybe this is just my naivete when it comes to retail. I'm not a retail employee or anything, but like I feel like all the companies get together and like, hey guys, like we're gonna make this our universal excuse, right? Just like all the investment firms get together and they do the same thing, right? They get together and kind of use the same universal excuse. So I don't know. I just in the back of my head, right? That may be kind of wrong of me because that's not my sector. But I just feel like they come together and like there are probably some stores that aren't getting stolen from that much. And maybe just because inflation, times are tough, people aren't buying as much from those stores. They're like, yeah, we're getting robbed too, right? And it's just like, are you? Are you really? Like, is everybody getting robbed that much? I don't know, right? It's not for me to say, but that's just kind of a thought in the back of my head. But BJ's along with all the other retail giants, Target, Walmart, Costco, everybody talking about how they're just getting robbed. So that's something that's facing retail companies as they head into earnings. Panera Brands names new CEO as it moves toward IPO. I did not know Panera was about to IPO. Big fan of their cinnamon chip bagels. Chef's kiss. Bud Light, ticker BUD, sales continue crashing. Coors Light, ticker TAP. So I guess their company, whoever owns Coors Light, their ticker is TAP. Their sales rise. Mortgage delinquency rate bounces 13% off March lows. And then COVID vaccine stocks light up amid fears of new infections in China. I did not know that was a thing, guys. Let's not run this back. That is not something that I want on a Throwback Thursday. So please, let's not run back the whole COVID thing, please, if possible. Like let's leave that where it is. China, we don't want any new strains, any new remixes. So please, right, keep that over there. We don't want it. I'm not with it, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and check out PFE. Looks like Pfizer is bull flagging on the hourly, so breakout at 40.14. Make sure you set a level there, set an alert there. Pfizer testing hourly bull flag breakout. Recognize that whenever you are involved in a pharmaceutical stock, there can be wild swings, right? There could be some bad news about some, Pfizer medication, and suddenly Pfizer stock tanks overnight. That 1000% can happen. But as of right now, Pfizer's been on a run the past few days, and we got a nice little hourly bull flag on them. So something to keep an eye on, right? If the market does find some relief and end up bouncing, that's been something that has shown some relative strength and could end up pushing, right? So we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Take us out there. We got 15 minutes. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Sharon. See, we're always on the same wave. It's hard to steal from Costco and BJ's. Like, I've never been a thief. And that's not to say, I understand people go through, young stages and they're like, hey, I stole this. I got in trouble for shoplifting. That's cool. I feel like a lot of people have done it. But if I was stealing, I just feel like that would be very hard to steal from, right? Costco and they have like the card that you need to get in, right? They've got the little beepers on the way out. I feel like they have like very singular and well outlined entrances and exits. So I'm just like, I just feel like they'd be very hard to steal from. So like I kind of want to call cap on that, right? I kind of want to call cap, but I don't know. Like people are very ingenuitive. I will give that to thieves, scammers. They are an ingenuitive bunch, right? They can make some stuff happen. They are resourceful. So I don't know. It might be an inside job, right? It might be an inside job. Maybe somebody at BJ's is facilitating the theft. We don't know. But I literally had the same thought. I'm like, man, I feel like those are two tough stores to steal from. Vivian said thieves can and will find a way. I believe it. Look, I believe it. Somebody used AI and called my grandpa, trying to scam him, pretending that they were my brother and that they had just gotten into a car accident and like sideswiped a pregnant woman. And he like ended up sniffing out who it was. But yeah, like these scammers they're on another level. Let's see, Des. I noticed some food has clearly sat in transport too long, some expiration dates than before. Was wondering if some stores are writing off spoiled food ever since the supply chain holdups. That could be happening too. I've noticed that as well. Like, I'll go to some grocery stores. I'm like, guys, this food is no longer good, right? So who knows, y'all? It's just so much going on right now. But hey, they're doing whatever they have to. All that lets me know is we got to do whatever we have to in order to make ends meet, right? So let's continue putting in, the effort to kind of wrangle it in and bring things back. To where I see Tristan laughing. Yeah, man, I've never been the thieving type. I don't want to go to jail. I've never been that type. I have, gotten asked before by people that I'm sure were just, you know, kind of dealing with their own discrimination issues. Like, oh, hey, like, did you pay for this? Did you buy this? I'm not going to jail over a shirt. I'm not going to jail over some gum. Right. So whenever I've been approached, I've been very frank. It ain't worth it. I ain't that pressed to be fly. Right. So you will not see it. I'm the same thing with my friends. My friends can tell you in college, everybody probably always had that friend who had the 5-finger discount, right? The sticky fingers. Don't do that around me, right? Don't do that around me, right? Especially as a black man. My mom was like, listen, your friends can do whatever they want, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be your face that's plastered up on the news, right? So that has not been that has not been my thing at all. Maybe it is an inside job. Yeah, exactly. I think it's inside too. But anyways, y'all, we could sit around and talk and hang out for hours. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Again, these companies doing whatever they have to do in order to make ends meet just underscores the fact that we have to do that, right? So make sure that you're doing that each and every day. You invest in yourself. Congratulations. I tip my hat to you. You're 1% better, right? And let's look to go ahead and apply that in markets. Let's be patient. Let's execute when necessary. Get our money and leave. Everybody have a great rest of the day, right? I'll see you back here tomorrow morning for our next pre-market prep session. Have a good one.